Hello relatives, welcome to this week's Schlagbite for the week January 16th, 2012, entitled The Last Poop Ceremony. This year, instead of our traditional Christmas New Year's trip to a faraway place, my wife and I stayed home and our children and grandchildren gathered in Phoenix. And while they were here, some went skiing and others went elsewhere. But my wife and I had a chance to spend some quality time with our 3-year-old grandson, Arlo. It was a fantastic holiday. Arlo wasn't quite potty-trained when he arrived, and his first day was one of overindulgence. So before going to bed, he had an accident on the carpet outside our bedroom door. And he was quite miserable, and I promised to tell him a story the following day when he was sitting on the potty. He loves to listen to stories. And the next day he came and got me and took me by the hand when he had to go to the bathroom. So while Arlo sat on the toilet, I sat on the floor in front of him and began. I said, when Indian boys his age learned how to become warriors, they were taught how to shoot a bow and arrow, how to hold it steady, and most importantly, when to let the arrow go so that it would be sure to hit the target. And when those boys got bigger, they learned how to shoot straight even when they were riding fast. They knew just when to let the arrow go to shoot that buffalo. And I went on to tell him that becoming a warrior was all about learning when to let things go. If he could learn to let his poop go on the potty like an arrow that hits the target, he could become a young warrior. And by the time I finished the story, he had dumped on the potty, which I took as a good sign, but my kids assured me it was only a tribute to my ability to talk shit endlessly. And he had no accidents for the next couple of days, and it just so happened that there was a dance performance that was going to take place at the Heard Museum, a premier Indian showcase here in Phoenix, where my Apache friend and brother Ken Duncan would be performing with his family, the Yellowbird Dancers. I told Arlo that since he'd been hitting the target in the toilet, that he was now ready to be initiated as a young warrior. Would you like that? I asked him, and he jumped at the chance. So we went down, and Arlo was entranced by the performance, especially when Ken's 6-year-old grandson performed the hoop dance. And afterwards, I introduced Arlo to the Duncan family, and later I asked Ken if he would bless the boy as a young warrior. Ken took him to a quiet place, spoke to him, touched him, blessed him. As he sat on his grandmother's lap, Arlo was mesmerized. And when we left, we celebrated his blessing ceremony by going to the store to buy warrior underpants, which he chose himself. And that was the end of his pooping in his pants, or on the floor. And this may be the most effective induction and immediate change that I have ever done. No shit. You'll enjoy looking at the pictures. And speaking of no shit, I invite you all, my loyal readers, to go to shitshoveler.com and learn about my new mini-book called Stop Your Shit Shoveling. Take the quiz, it's a lot of fun. Find out if you're a shit shoveler. It's hilarious. If you like it, send it to your friends. And have a great week. At the beginning of this year, I say this for all my relations. Mitakwiyasi.